Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Trois-Rivières in Canada. It is the FIA World Rallycross Championship 2018, round 7, and what you're about to see is the crucial final session of qualifying to decide who makes it through to the semi-finals and who takes the long trip home. And you can see a visual representation of the 3 races coming up. That will be race 1, that will be race 2, and that will be race 3. So it's very, very exciting. The engines are starting to fire up for race 1. Gregoire de Moustier is already in the car. So let's veer this way to see if we can speak to someone who's going to be in a slightly later race. Let's go over to Andreas Backerud over here, who's just dancing his way. You look, Andreas, look quite chilled. You're dancing to the PA music. How are you feeling before this? You're in the fast racing qualifying 4.
Yeah, no, I feel good. I mean, we have had good starts all weekend, so keep going on and do the same thing. We have done some changes now. I didn't feel too good in Q3 on race pace, so that's where we need to step it up so we get ready for the semi and the final.
Well, we've got many, thousands of people watching live around the world. Any particular message to your Backerud Blue fans, maybe back in Norway or wherever they are in the world?
I know some of them are sitting in a bar, Felix in Bergen, my hometown, so cheers to all of you guys. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today. I had a race to do, so but I hope you guys that I can deliver a good show for you. So yeah. So far I'm giving it all, and I'm gonna keep giving all.
Well, you're in a little Kristoffersen and Kevin Hansen sandwich, so you've got to try and get a good start and get clear of this.
Yeah, you know, it's many Swedes here, so we need to do something. I will go over to Padder later, and we will make some good tactics.
Very good. Obviously, the Norwegians playing together, that doesn't happen very often. So that's Andreas Backerud looking for a good result here. Let's go and have a word with quick word with Timmy Hansen, who's speaking to his engineers right now. Hey Timmy, just obviously having a little chat with your engineers. Anything changed in the car since Q3?
We have done something small, but at this point it's not about making big changes. It's about fine-tuning what we already had. So I had a very good run actually in Q3. I made the best lap time out of everyone. So we had been lacking a bit of pace yesterday in Q1 and 2. And today is feeling much better. So I'm happy with the car. I just have to get the launch right. And then in this race, we're in here. I'm 7th right now in the intermediate, but everyone here is, I have 6 points to Petter, and he's in the same race. So, you know, it's completely open. The winner of the race will be the one who qualifies highest. So it's going to be a tough battle.
Okay, well, good luck. Thanks, Timmy. Now, don't forget, of course, the last time Timmy won a round of the FIA World Rallycross Championship was here 2 years ago. Can he repeat it? And that's Kevin. Are you feeling chilled and ready for the race?
Yeah, always. It's
good.
So nice here. It's so nice here.
Good. Thanks, Kevin. So we should have a couple of expert commentators up in their tent on the top of the building over there. It's Andrew Coley and Carl Nadeau.
There's our tent. I love seeing the tent. I love seeing the tent from the outside. That's great. Look at that. Mega. That's us on top of a building. We're just above the start-finish line. It's such a great place to commentate from. I do like it. I also like the fact that Neil said there was a couple of expert commentators up there. I don't know where they are. I'm afraid all you've got is me and Carl Nadeau. So experts is a bit steep, but thanks, Neil. Much appreciated. So we've got one qualifying session left to go. The last one was pretty carnage. So let's have a little look back at Q3 and remind you just what happened. So this was the first race, I think. Timur Zyanov it was, both the GCK cars in here. Timur was out front, Schischrit, Grosjean in, slotting in behind. De Moustier trying not to end up in the wall like he did before. Kevin Eriksson nearly did though. So Timur, watch this, comes through the long right-hander, misses his point, boom, in the wall, collects the GCK machine of Schischrit as well. Larson, sorry it was. How did he miss that? Larson, who was down in P5, somehow managed to avoid the other guys. But unfortunately, when he came around on the next lap, he thought Schischrit's car was still there, so he lifted. So he lost time on lap 1, then again on lap 2. Grosjean managed to stay out of trouble. Larson took it, but I say the time was not what he was looking for. These guys, remember, were all around the P11, 12, 13, 14 mark as well. Kristoffersen, we were thinking here he desperately needed a clear run. Gets a little tag from the back. This time it was Kevin Eriksson. It's like, not again. Manages to get himself out of traffic. Everybody reacts and tries to joker. In the space of 1 lap, Kristoffersen had got up there. He did a couple of fastest laps of the day to put himself in contention for this one. And in the end, he got past Kevin Hansen with the joker strategy as well. It was a brilliant drive by the world champion, who was P9 prior to this session. This, though, is where it all kicked off. Loeb, Ekstrom, Solberg backward. Look at that, it's insane. Contact 4 wide at 200 kilometers an hour at the end of the straight. Bang, Solberg into the side of Ekstrom. The two of them almost off the road. How Solberg held onto that, I do not know. Backward, super sideways. Ekstrom comes out the Joker into the side of Loeb. Both those cars head on into the wall. When Ekstrom reversed out of that, he had broken steering, and Loeb lost 20 seconds. Plus Solberg coming across the line P3. It was Kristoffersson who took the session, moved himself up from 9th to 3rd. You can rely on the world champion to do something special when it really counts. Sebastian Loeb, who'd won the first 2 qualifying sessions, look, with a 20-second loss there, dropped a load of time, doesn't drop any positions, and that shows you how important it is. If you can be dominant, you can stay out there. Solberg with a good, consistent performance all weekend. Backward 4th, Kevin Hansen, Ekstrom, Timmy Hansen, Niklas Gronholm, your top 8. Kevin Eriksson, Janis Baumanis, Larsen and Jerome Grosjean look are just on the cusp. Behind them, Timur Zyanov, Gregoire Demoustier, Gulan Chicheret. Timur is the danger man here. Timur, Jerome Grosjean and Larsen. I reckon one of those 3 is not going to make it. So there is Timur Zyanov on the line. Ekstrom pulling up, having had broken steering. So, Carl, they've got the car fixed at least.
A lot of body work this weekend.
Yeah, somebody's making money, aren't they? Whoever makes carbon fibre body panels, that's a business I need to get into. I'd have the contact as well, wouldn't I? I could ping off text messages as the race is finished. Hello.
And for the mechanic and the team, the pleasure of having the little piece of carbon fibre in your fingertip, it's just great. They're going to suffer for weeks.
Oh dear. Chicheret now to the lines of Chicheret, who is currently in P15. I think Chicheret needs an absolute blinder here to stand a chance, and he could do with a couple of other people having a not great run. But it's Timur Zyanov, who's currently P13 and wants a good run here to try and get through with some very quick drivers in this race. Race 1 for Q4 features those who struggled in the end of the previous session. Sebastian Loeb, who won the first 2 sessions, is in the first race of Q4, having spent 20 seconds reversing out the wall. Matthias Ekstrom was in contact with him as they went down that route, the Joker lap merge, and so Ekstrom is in this one too because he had broken steering. Chicheret ended up with broken rear end, I think, front end. It was carnage. These are all the guys who had a bit of problem in the previous run. So Timur Zyanov too, of course, didn't he? Ended up in the wall too. So what can they do to recover? Can Timur Zyanov drag himself up into the semi-finals? He's currently P13. Oh, brilliant start. Matthias Ekstrom. Ekstrom looks like he's got the whole shot, but Loeb's going to make it difficult for him down the inside. Timur Zyanov too. The Hyundai's looking fast. Ekstrom shuts the door, moves across beautifully, aggressively, closing the door, and everyone behind him. Chicheret trying to go around the outside. But Timur Zyanov goes defensive, and Chicheret ends up losing out to Demoustier.
Oh, that's costing him a lot. He was a gentleman.
Back through. He's back through.
Wow, what a move by him. And 3 hard-charging drivers in the front, 3 extremely fast drivers. They need to make up time quick.
This could help Timur Zyanov for me. So Timur Zyanov set good times this weekend, but not up the sharp end with these guys. So Timur, if he gets onto the back of Loeb and Ekstrom and follows and can stick those lap times in, he might just get himself up. For Timur, he needs to be looking out for Jerome Grosjean, who's going to be in a later race than him, and Robin Larsen too. So Timur Zyanov, those are the guys he could really do with being in front of. To be honest with you, he needs to be in front of Grosjean by more than 1 place. If he can be more than a couple of places in front of Grosjean, he can deny him the place in the semi-finals. But Timur has got to get on it. He needs to get on the back of this train.
Actually, Ekstrom and Loeb are quite a bit faster, but usually it's good to have 2 fast rabbits in front of you, so you can push and try to mimic what they're doing, so it can help Timur Zyanov.
Timur's too sideways, and he's just missed the apex there as well. Demoustier goes Joker, but Timur trying very hard, but the lap time isn't there. And these guys, obviously, they're trying hard, but they're looking more comfortable in the cars.
At some point, you can try too hard also. So you're overshooting the corner. You really want to try to gain time to the guy in front of you, but at the same time, it's hard to be faster than Ekstrom and Loeb. So might as well brake a little earlier and make the corner clean.
Sebastian Loeb was having a look up the inside a minute ago of Ekstrom. This is good for Chicheret too. You know, the GCK machine is very quick, but Chicheret and Grosjean have sometimes struggled, I think, to get the best out of it. So what can they do?
Ekstrom is gaining ground a lot.
Go on, sorry.
Ekstrom is doing a great job in front of Loeb. He's stretching a good lead right now.
Into the Joker goes Chicheret in the background. he's comfortably in front of... Right, Ekstrom looking to set a time which would move him up. Where is he? He's P6 at the minute after that DNF. Of course, he was higher than that with 2 seconds previously. Ekstrom was right up there. DNF in the previous one sees him P6. He will want to be in the top 4 because, Carl, a front row start for the semi-finals with these guys is absolutely critical.
Definitely. And Ekstrom doesn't have to run any defensive line. He can be as fast as he wants. And oh! Chicherit in the wall. It seems like corner 1. It's hard to judge from that.
It does. Chicherit then maybe making a mistake on the brakes at the end of the straight, but Ekstrom into the Joker lap, followed by Sebastian Loeb and Timozyanov. Timozyanov has tidied it up and has got himself in the fight here. So Chicherit is not going to make it through to the semi-finals. He was last coming into this session after a DNF in the previous run. Ekstrom lights the throttle up as he comes over the crest down towards the braking zone. The quickest times this weekend have been 3:21 to 3:23. So how's he going here? They haven't watered the track, so this should be super, super fast. Down towards the timing line. The checker flag is out. When's the clock going to stop? 3:23.7. So it's a decent time. It wouldn't have been enough to win any of the sessions. Sorry, yes, it would. It would have won Q3. But Q3 was surprisingly slow for the World Rallycross drivers because everybody got caught up in those incidents. Even Kristoffersen, who won the session, didn't have a super clean run. So Ekstrom with a time that would have been quick enough to win Q3. Chicherit's weekend ends in the tyre wall, which is a shame for him and the GCK squad.
Actually, it looks like...
Go on, yeah.
It looks like the last sector that leads to the start-finish line.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, we'll find him. We'll find him. Matthias Ekstrom, Sebastian Loeb, Timozyanov, de Moustier, and Gulen Chicherit with a DNF. Okay, let's take a look back at the replays. Maybe we can figure out what happened to Chicherit. He didn't have a great start, that's for sure. So Chicherit drops back, was down to turn 1. Beautiful move from Ekstrom.
Ekstrom was absolutely amazing on the start. He had plenty of time to move and protect his line. It was a little boxing in the back.
Yeah, he got the job done. It was maybe
there.
Naughty. You're right. Oh, no, okay, so no. He's broken the steering, he's clipped the wall, so he's ended up in the outside of the last corner. That's where Chicherit stopped. So disaster for him. His weekend is over. What is Matthias Ekstrom going to do with a time like that? Chicherit walking away from the car, disappointed.
That Apex claimed a lot of cars over
yeah,
the years, because in Grand Prix Trois-Rivières, it's road racing.
Of course,
you had the second weekend. Tons of guys clipped that Apex and destroyed the front suspension, yeah.
Take a wheel off. We thought, didn't we, because the track, there's only a couple of places where the track's wide, so we thought that was down in turn 1, and in fact it was up at the last corner, so bit of a shame. So Ekstrom was P6 coming into this session after that DNF. He's won that one with a decent time. More drivers still to come. How does he feel about that?
Matthias, after qualifying 3, you needed a good, clean run with no incidents. You seem to get it, but do you think that's quick enough?
No, for sure it's not quick enough. Marshals was watering the track like no tomorrow, so not much you can do. I mean, the problem was that the track road broke in Q3, so we are put ourselves on this situation. So I'm just happy I could drive 4 laps with clear view. That was quite funny, but I know already now the time is not good enough, but that's a part of Rallycross.
Good luck in the semis.
Ekstrom's not happy there. You can tell straight away. I kind of get the impression we broke the tie rod. We've done it to ourselves, you know. So either he's saying the car's not strong enough, or more likely maybe, okay, mistake. You know, we ended up in the wall. So he's saying the marshals have watered the track like mad. I have to say, Carl, I don't agree with that. I would say it was well watered before ARX2 and before ARX. If you were watching the other stream earlier, you'll know what we're talking about. But that to me is a drying track. Yes, there are patches, and I'm sure it will get quicker. I get it. But he's disappointed, isn't he? Because he knows he's in the early race because of the mistake, and now you pay the price.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, he had clear track the whole time, so he had time to push. The track was his. He didn't have to fight or defend anything, so of course he's disappointed by his time.
It's not going to be terrible, but it's whether or not it's enough to move him to the front row. And it's not over if you're not on the front row, but it's a massive advantage.
Yeah.
It's a massive advantage. Jerome Grosjean is in this one. He's in P12. Timozyanov did a 3:27.0, so it'd be interesting to see whether or not he can do a bit of a number here on Jerome Grosjean and nick that 12th place. Let's see. Those headphones will be on in just a second. It's nearly go time. Q4 Race 2 is on the line. Some interesting positions in this one in terms of qualifying. Niklas Gronholm, look, Yannis Balmanis, Kevin Eriksson, Robin Larsen and Jerome Grosjean. So you've got Balmanis and Larsen who are 10th and 11th. I think they'll be safe. Larsen borderline, but I think he's got enough of a gap. The danger man here is Jerome Grosjean. He's 12th, and Timur Timizyanov has just gone out and done a good job in the previous race. His teammate Gronholm's in this one. Gronholm's been quick this year. Let's find out if he's quick here at Trois Rivières. Oh, Larsen had to kick the clutch definitely once. Gronholm's got a great start. Grosjean moves across. Larsen has to get better. Larsen's obviously behind. Eriksson along the outside. I think Gronholm's going to get the whole shot here. Eriksson surely can't go around the outside of this one. He'll have a go. Oh, Grosjean moves up to third maybe. So Grosjean could get second here. Gronholm into the whole shot. Everybody slots in. So nicely done. Grosjean up to P2.
Biggest loser in that is Eriksson. He went way too wide and he was right in the marble in the dirty part of the track. So for him, it was really impossible to protect the second place.
Both the OMSE cars choose to joker on the first lap. From where they are, they obviously feel like they can be quicker than Balmanis and Grosjean in front. Gronholm's been quick all weekend. Grosjean, though, is on fire. He has to be, because if he doesn't set a great time here, Timizyanov is going to nudge him out of the semi-finals.
Well, Timizyanov's got his finger crossed in the pits right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Nothing he can do except
he will
watch.
be watching the timing screens with interest, won't he? Cars howling down the front straight here. This is the only track of the year where they see the top end of sixth gear. A couple of people saying they've even seen the rev limiter here. Got to get a good exit from that last corner to do that, but we've seen the risks you have to take to get that good exit from the last corner. And Carl, that's why we're seeing people knock corners off here. The ultimate lap time involves risks with the walls.
Oh yeah, exactly. And corner one, you can make up or lose so much time because it's wide. You have different line that you can use between corner one and corner two. But at the end of the day, if you find the perfect line and you risk it under braking and it works, it's just magic.
Kevin Eriksson is on a really, really big push in the background. So Eriksson is 3.7 off the lead. We know the joker's around the 2.5, 3 second mark. So watch for Kevin Eriksson in the background. He's absolutely flinging the OMSE Fiesta around. There he is coming down the straight. Look, he's gapped his teammate Larsen considerably. Look at this. Eriksson on a really big push, trying to make up the gap. It says 3.9 now, so doesn't look like it's going his way. Well, not to the lead of Gronholm anyway, but he might get a couple of the guys in front. Gronholm's doing well, isn't he? Look at that.
Exactly, and a lot of body work are flying around behind Balmanis' car also.
Joker lap for Balmanis. Balmanis goes in. Eriksson's got him. I think he's going to get Larsen. He does just. So Balmanis holds on to P4 from Larsen. So that's Eriksson up 1. Now he's got his eyes on Grosjean. He's only 2 seconds off the rear of Grosjean. So Eriksson hoping for P2 here. Where's Eriksson? Prior to this session, he was P9, so he wants to move up too. Larsen's attacking.
It's really, really tight. In that last section, there you go. There's so much grass and gravel on the road there. You want to accelerate hard because it looks like asphalt, but at the end of the day, it's really slippery.
And Larsen tagged the wall, didn't he? So Larsen's tagged the wall. Gronholm seems to be pretty clean out front, rotates the car with a bit of left foot braking on the gas again. This time then he takes the joker lap, so we can see that's dried out massively in the last few laps. Ekstrom's target time 3:23.7. Eriksson's going to get P2. Is he? Is he? He does just. Eriksson just gets it from Grosjean. So Grosjean is chasing the time of Timizyanov, which is a 3:27.0. Out front, Gronholm is chasing the time of Ekstrom, which is a 3:23.7.
If it wasn't of the mistake he did on the first lap, Eriksson could have won this
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. He's doing well this weekend. Good to see the OMSE cars with a bit more pace. Gronholm not going to match that time, 3:23.7. So Ekstrom is still quickest. 1.4 slower for Gronholm. Grosjean, I want to see what time he did, 3:27.7. He's 7/10 slower than Timizyanov. Where's Eriksson? Is Eriksson ahead or behind of Timur? Eriksson is just behind Timur. We're talking by thousandths of a second. You'll see in just a moment, you'll see exactly what I mean. Gronholm, Eriksson, Grosjean and Balmanis, Robin Larsen. Look where they slot in. Jerome Grosjean is 1 place back from Kevin Eriksson. And I think that's what Timizyanov needed to make it through to the semis. I'm renowned for terrible live maths. Let's see when we get the stats at the end. But I think Timur is going to nick the final place in the semi-finals. We'll find out at the end of the session. Another look at the start, Carl. Talk us through it.
very, very good start. Actually, Gronholm had the perfect start, but Eriksson had a perfect position in second place. He just couldn't make it stick. He was just way too wide. He was on the marble the whole time, and he couldn't slot before fourth place. So for him, he lost quite a bit on the start.
He was lucky it was his teammate Larson behind. I think last time, I mean, he was a fair way back, but he didn't make it difficult for him to slot in at least. But yeah, so the track's quite dirty out there.
Yeah, especially on that section. You're bringing all the gravel from the gravel section to the asphalt, so it's getting worse.
It's my favourite bit of the track. I love the fact that it changes so much, but because it's downhill as well, it gets magnified. Any mistake you make on the brakes just goes even further. Gronholm takes it. Great drive.
Nicholas, you look like you've done enough to get yourself a really good position in the semi-finals. You have to be happy with that.
Yeah, seems to be a second row starting position, so yeah, I'm happy with that. Clean run, no big mistakes, but maybe not the best rhythm in the driving, so we could have been faster, but yeah. Anyway, this is what we aim for, and I'm happy.
Well done, thank you.
I should be happy, Nicholas Gronholm. He was P8 before, and he's currently second in this session, so I think we're going to see Gronholm heading north in the standings. Ekstrom 6th. I say Timo Zyanov 4th at the minute, and that's the result I say that Timo needed. If anybody else slots in between him and Grosjean, it's definitely done, because there was only a point between him and Grosjean. So if he beat him by 1, then they would have been equal on points and it would have gone on count back. But I think Timo is going to move up into the top 12. But of course, we could see people with a couple of shocking results now. If you had a shunt again like we saw last time, we could see someone else dropping out. So one race to go, all to play for. There's the yellow Peugeot. Thank you, Peugeot, for 3 distinctly different coloured cars. It makes it much easier, doesn't it?
Makes our life easier.
Yeah.
And again, Timmy and Kevin Hansen side by side on the start. So hopefully nobody's going to trade paint.
Backward and Kristoffersson, I reckon they might trade a bit of paint. They've got a bit of history, haven't they, from this weekend so far? Solberg's in there too. Solberg and Backward have had a few fights over the years.
Let's keep the payback to a minimum and clock some good times.
Yeah, I want to see a good race, but I must admit I enjoyed the drama in Q3. I'm not going to lie. It was good. It was good. Those tyres look very new to me. See Timmy's front left, there's not a mark on it, whereas if you compare it to Kevin's front left, the Cooper tyre logos are dirtier on Kevin's car. So I'm reckoning that Timmy's put a set of boots on for this one. Where was Timmy prior to this session? Timmy was P7. Kevin Hansen P5 at the minute, but it was Sebastian Loeb who was top qualifier coming into this session despite the problem in Q3. So all to play for. All 3 Peugeots, sorry, yes, 2 of the 3 Peugeots in this one. Looking forward to it. Right, it is time for the last race of qualifying from round 7 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Trois-Rivières in Canada. The world champion Johan Kristoffersson, 3rd after Q3. A brilliant performance to drag himself up for 9th. He's had a ding-dong fight with Andreas Backrud this weekend. What's going to happen with them down at Turn 1? Kevin and Timmy will try and stay out of each other's way. Great performance by Kevin so far this weekend. Solberg is 2nd after Q3. He's chasing down the TQ of Sebastian Loeb, but I think that's going to be too much to ask. We're about to find out. Marshals leave the grid. Final portion of qualifying. Later on today, we'll be racing for semi-finals and finals. We've had 4 different winners at this event. You need a front row slot if you want a chance of picking up the big trophy here in Canada. Ready to race light goes out. Clutch is up. Backward, Kristoffersson super equal on the outside. Solberg's got a good start, so is Timmy Hansen. Kevin has to slot back. Timmy Hansen and trying around the outside. Solberg 2, 4 abreast down to turn 1. Backward slots in behind Kristoffersson. Timmy Hansen round the outside of Johan. Johan and Petter though looking up the inside now in the braking zone. Timmy just stays out the wall. Slots in behind Johan. Great drive, Timmy Hansen to get slotted in there. Brave by the wall.
I am absolutely impressed by Timmy Hansen's performance. And of course Solberg is shooting for the Joker, but Kristoffersson, what a move did he do in order to get back the position in front of Timmy Hansen. And Backarud, there's a lot on the stake right now. Backarud needs to be up front because he wants to secure 2nd place in the championship.
He does indeed. Kristoffersson and Backarud fighting out at the front of the table. 40 points between them, but every point counts. Kristoffersen doing such a good job. I mean, how impressive. P9, terrible day yesterday. Didn't even get a good start in Q3, but did a good job. Won the session, moves himself up to P3. He just pulls it out of the bag when he needs to, Carl. You know, you like, Johan, you've got to do it or we're in trouble. He does it.
And you get Kristoffersen and Hansen, probably the two of the smoothest driver in the championship. They're extremely aggressive, but they're keeping steering movement to a strict minimum. They don't slide when they don't need to, and they're extremely quick.
Impressive to see how fast the Peugeot and the Audi are. We've said it a few times this weekend. If you haven't been watching all the action, they've done so much testing in between the events. 6 days testing for Ekström's EKS squad. Him and Bakkerud went to Latvia for 3 days. They stayed in Sweden for 3 days. Peugeot apparently ran every second of the day at the mid-season test in Latvia. It has paid off in spades. Look at it. They're flying. The Peugeot is right up there with Johan. It's so close between Johan and Timmy. Johan's got clean track in front of him. Normally, we'd see him check out in this situation. Hansen's taken a couple of tenths off him, I think.
And Solberg seems to be closing on Bakkerud, despite the fact that Solberg was pretty wide in some of the corners, but is really
Timmy goes
hard.
Joker. Was that a late decision? No, Timmy's gone Joker. Bakkerud hasn't. This is to cover Solberg behind him. He's just done it. He's just covered Solberg, so they can see the gap was closing for Solberg behind. So Solberg was the danger man. Timmy Hansen now is out of the back of the mirrors of Kristoffersen, but he's got Bakkerud in front of him, and Bakkerud has been holding people up here and there this week, and he just doesn't seem at the ultimate pace. And of course, this would help Ekström if he did hold them up a little bit. So Kristoffersen onto the start-finish straight. I think it's going to cost Timmy. They're coming onto the final lap now. Hansen has a look in the mirrors of Bakkerud. The Peugeot looks rapid. It looks so good. 47.9 for Bakkerud, 47.7 for Kristoffersen. So Bakkerud is fast. He is fast. He's just not quite as consistent as Kristoffersen's been up front. Kristoffersen's done 3:47 second laps. He goes Joker now. Hansen on the inside, but it's Kristoffersen who's going to take this one. Hansen's going to get P2. Super close between. That Peugeot is bang on the money.
And Bakkerud, he slowed the other guys down quite a bit. So basically, third place is pretty much the best he can do on that heat.
Johan Kristoffersen coming around, the world champion with a brilliant recovery driving Q3, has done a fantastic job here. The Peugeot, though, is on the pace. There's a decent fight on for the semi-finals. This is it, though, for the qualifying stages. Johan Kristoffersen takes it. The time is 3:22.4. He wins the session. Johan Kristoffersen wins his second session of the weekend. It's 2 to Sebastian Loeb, 2 to Johan Kristoffersen. 1.3 seconds quicker than the time of Mattias Ekström. Timmy Hansen is also quicker. And Solberg too. Solberg by just a tenth of a second. So those three guys with a mega drive here will be headed to the top of the table. Kristoffersen takes it with a stunning time, but my goodness me, Timmy Hansen was there the whole time. The Peugeot is definitely on the pace. Him and Loeb are flying. Solberg, Bakkerud and Kevin Hansen. There's your top five. Where do they slot in? I say the three of them ahead of Mattias Ekström. Great stuff. Absolutely fantastic. We'll have the whole standings for you in a minute. We'll find out where everyone is in the semi-finals. So off the line, bit of wheel spin wasn't there for Timmy Hansen, but still a good start with, we think, new tyres. This was round the outside, but you were saying Kristoffersen does a good job. Does Timmy get too deep on the exit?
Yeah, he definitely was too wide, and it's extremely slippery when you go wide there, but he was able to secure second anyways, which is a great job from him.
Solberg went Joker early, got the space. It was a tidy Joker from Solberg too. He's so good at that rally driving, just chuck it in and see what happens. Brilliant drive from him. This was Timmy jokering one lap earlier than I think he maybe would have liked to have done, but he got out in front of Solberg. That took the pressure off Kristoffersen a bit, but it was still super close at the end. We have a fight on our hands this afternoon.
Johan, we know how you can dominate when you have a clear track in front of you. You just did it there, and I can tell you that you are top qualifier after everything that's happened so far this weekend.
Yeah, wow. I didn't expect that after yesterday. Had a very frustrating yesterday. Still a bit frustrating on the warm-up this morning, but I have to say a big thanks to the team, especially Petter this weekend. On the warm-up, he really showed me what it takes to be quick on this gravel part in the midsection. So I learned really a lot from Petter this morning. Just let him do the work with the car. I just focus on the driving. So very happy to be top qualifying and 16 very important points.
Well done. Thanks, Johan.
Thank you.
Just the one little fist pump to celebrate an unbelievable recovery. Kristoffersen was P9 this morning. He was P3 after Q3. He is top qualifier after Q4 by 1 point. Look on the right-hand side from Sebastian Loeb, 2 sessions each. Then it was Solberg, Hansen. So what are we going to get? We're going to get the 2 polos together. That's so we've got Johan and Petter together. That hasn't always gone well. And then we've got the 2 Peugeots, Loeb and Hansen together. Ekstrom and Backrud will be in separate finals. Niklas Gronholm, Kevin Hansen, who's made the cut. Kevin Eriksson, Janis Bauers, Timmers Yarnov is in. I thought he was. He's actually gone up 1 ahead of Robin Larsen as well. Sharon Grosjean in. Gregoire Demoustier and Gulan Shisrit are out for the rest of the weekend. That man, Johan Kristoffersen, he loves a Sunday. He loves a Sunday. Carl, incredible performance by Johan.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't bank on him yesterday, but this morning he was so confident. His whole team was super relaxed. They knew they could make it.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for Carl Nadeau. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching all the qualifying stages. Don't forget you'll be able to catch up with the full broadcast later. You need to check your listings for that. But, yeah, great job, Carl. Really, really
Pleasure.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, that is it. Thanks, Andrew, and thanks, Carl, up there in the commentary booth. Our live streams have come to an end. Qualifying has finished, but the main event will be on your TV later. So check listings, where you can watch it on TV, and, of course, keep across everything with the hashtag WorldRX, because we are at GP3R, the Grand Prix of Trois-Rivières, and the FIA World Rallycross Championship reaches its culmination of round 7 in a couple of hours' time, and we expect you to be there. Thanks for watching.
Section that goes ahead of Q3, which is, joining me over some GVs, and then we look at standings after Q2, ahead of Q3, if you get what I mean. Then we do a mini version of that, so we start you off on the GV, do the standings after Q3, ahead of Q4. Both of them will be 2 pages, bit of jeopardy, we'll keep it snappy.